All right, Anthony on Air podcast back for another episode. Some crazy Bill Gates details to share with you. Very secretive stuff, kind of disgusting stuff. Lets us in a little bit more on what type of a person he is. We'll get into it. Kid Rock drops the F-bomb. A little bit of a homophobic slur action there from Kid Rock. Elle Kemper's apology. The Koch brothers are back at it. Trump in the news once again. Bezos going to space. Rob Zombie's bringing back the Munsters, and Bruce is back on Broadway. Frankie C in the house. What's up, my man?
What is up? Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Let's jump in, baby.
I'm panicking a little because I don't know if I spelled Munsters right, but I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's right. It's not Monsters.
It is not Monsters. Gates.
And it's not Munster cheese.
You know we're on top of boy, but we have any Munster grilled cheese sandwiches?
Ooh, that sounds good. Munster is a very underrated cheese.
Sure is, buddy. It sure is. The story right now is there's a lot gonna come out about Bill Gates and Melinda Gates as their divorce proceeds. Now, this isn't being permeated by internet rumor or Pete's blog. This is being told by sources, former employees in some cases, former employees violating NDAs, those do not disclose, non-disclosure agreements, to speak to media outlets under anonymity just to get this story out, which usually tells me one major thing. There's a lot to tell.
Seems to be.
If I've signed an NDA and I've agreed to take a lot of money to be quiet, and don't tell anybody I told you this, but this is the story, that means that somebody needs to be exposed.
Yeah. I don't know how common NDAs are. I mean, is it every wealthy person makes their housekeeper, everybody sign NDAs for everything, or is it just if you're up to shady shit?
Apparently, Gates is handing them out like cough drops in a flu season, my friend. He is just...
I didn't think you were going to nail that one, but you got it.
He's just doling out NDAs. Like, I think there's somebody that follows him around with an NDA ready to go. And they just fill in your name, and I'll put a price down based on what was just done to you. And
NDA Edna.
NDA Edna, yeah, basically. There's that show on HBO that I love, Succession, and that's essentially what it is. It's about this billionaire media mogul, and the same exact thing happens. They in this one episode, he calls this like kid over to do something and kind of humiliates this little child, and there comes like the staff like rolling in like, "Hey, how are you? Hey, by the way, can you just sign this?" and blah, 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 and they just give a check right then and there. It's crazy.
So usually NDAs are for specific circumstances, not for like it's not like an umbrella NDA, like you sign when you're hired.
Basically, yeah. I mean, and it's always a tough, like, full disclosure. I've signed an NDA. I've had to sign an NDA, and
all right, what shady shit did you witness?
It's not always, but. The thing most of the time is NDAs are you just don't want stuff getting out about you or your company or your organization. And a lot of the times, in order to get what's owed to you or whatever the case may be, right or wrong or whatever it is, you gotta kind of sign them. But I think most people feel the same way about NDAs. Like sometimes you have to do it, but for the most part, you really wish you could just let everybody know how it really is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not up to shady stuff, I mean, what's the point of an NDA?
Yeah, that's why when stuff like this starts to happen and the news starts to build, and wait till I share some of the stuff with you. When the news starts to build, you kind of go, I understand why everybody's doing the psst, psst, I mean, I have a story for you.
Yeah, I mean, it hit me as we're talking, like a use for an NDA. Like, it doesn't have to be shady shit, I guess. It could be you're in a company that has rivals that you just don't share.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But like, I feel
there's a difference between an NDA and what's that? What do they call that?
Non-compete?
Non-compete. Yeah.
No, but like if I work for company X and company Y is my competitor, I'm not gonna like. What if company Y asks me what they're doing? What's going on over at company X? I can't say anything, even if I'm still,
Yeah.
It's just you can't tell anybody because I don't want to lose business.
Right. And
Doesn't have to be shady, but it just sounds shady to me.
You don't want to work for a company that asks you those kinds of things either. Like, hey, what'd you guys do at the other place that we could get it in? So it's like, well,
Yeah. Well, no, it could be like advertising, like, oh, what's your advertising strategy for this
Sure.
company? And then that company would sneak in and take the business from you. Who knows?
Yeah.
What are you charging for this kind of stuff?
Well, so there's a couple little things. There's a couple of major things. Here's one of the major things. One of the major things is that Melinda Gates hired a private investigator a few years ago. Now, she has come out and denied this, said it's completely false, saying that she didn't hire anybody, nor did anybody at her direction hire a investigator to follow Bill or whatever the case is. But sources are saying.
I mean, is there a record of it?
Is there ever a record with the private investigators? I think that's part of their gig.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Is to have records disappear.
Maybe. I mean, again, shady shit.
But I mean, it's again sources and people close to the matter that are saying yes, she hired a private investigator, which makes a lot of sense when you hear some of the other stuff that I'm about to tell you. Because how else, if you're Melinda Gates, do you find out what you need to find out without getting into a boatload of trouble yourself? Because the way they make Gates seem here is that he was an absolute monster. So here's some of the little minor things. That he was a nightmare to work for, which we've heard before. But when you hear some of these details, so it was described that he had a liberal use of non-disclosure agreements. He kept on handing them out. For a long time, one of the people familiar with the matter said, quote, "For such a long time, you were told you have an NDA, you can't talk," said a former employee who signed such an agreement. I'm sorry, I just got distracted by something.
Over here.
So I'm sorry. There's a lot of stuff coming through. The current wave of reporting around Gates' behavior encouraged this person to open up. They are keenly aware that Gates' lawyers are at the ready. He says he knows this person says knows the lawyers, and these are not nice lawyers. So not only like you're constantly like threatened or like, you can't say anything. You signed an NDA, you'll be sued, all that kind of stuff.
Well, that's the point of the NDA.
Obviously, the story out there, Gates was often described as impatient, demanding. He, served in tech, lots of big swings in tech, millions of dollars, sometimes billions of dollars can change each and every single day if you don't do something or whatever. Right. The party responsible, a former partner who worked directly with Gates at Microsoft on a major product announcement explained that if a deadline was missed, the party responsible would have to answer to Gates directly. The former employee who signed an NDA called him, quote, unrelenting and condescending, adding, he would ask you a question, and when you answered, he'd look at you and go, that's not the right answer. For years, there's been whispers that Microsoft and Gates broader professional and social circles about inappropriate extramarital relationships. None of it was entirely shocking, despite the seeming contract with his public persona. He always wanted to come off as sounding like a good person. All right, we know about the two things that was in the Times and the other thing that he had, he was asking girls out that he worked with and so on and so forth. Okay. Here's something that's particularly creepy.
Oh, good.
They say that for the people who worked for Bill, his behavior was something of an open secret. A former employee who signed an NDA said there were times when Bill came into the office driving a Mercedes. 1 hour later, one of his security personnel would show up with a golden brown Porsche that Bill would drive away in. Everybody in the office knew that was when he was going out to meet with a woman. So he would drive to work in his Mercedes family car, whatever.
Okay.
And then he would get in a Porsche, which I guess he felt like was like a bigger chick magnet kind of a thing. And that's when they all knew
Chick magnet.
You're
Bill Gates. You're a gajillionaire. You need a Porsche to be a chick. I mean, you might not be the most attractive guy in the world, but the Porsche isn't going to put it over the top. Oh, it's a Porsche. Now I'm in.
I know, but like when you're driving in your Mercedes and the kids' homework is in the back or whatever, there's a car seat or whatever the hell it is.
I doubt very much that his kid's homework was in the back seat of his car.
Okay, but it's
not like your car or my car or whatever. This is a billionaire's car.
I know, but
who would probably clean his car every 10 seconds.
I mean, maybe, but I'm just saying the idea of like buy a Hyundai, like if he was taking the Porsche to work every day, I'm sure she'd be like, "Why are you taking a Porsche?"
Yeah, you know? I mean, it's shady, but yeah, I get it.
I think that's some majorly shady shit.
It is. Of course it is. I mean, if everybody knows he's going to be a scumbag somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see what changing the car has to do with anything. I mean, he's going to be a scumbag no matter what car he's in.
No, but it's like, you know, your wife just assumes you left for work in the Mercedes and somebody else sneaks you the other
that's what
quote
I'm
unquote sexier car.
I get it, but my point is, what the hell's the point, Bill Gates? You drive whatever you want. Girls are either gonna go for you or not. The Porsche isn't gonna put him over the top.
I disagree. I think he thinks that, and I also think he's also trying to be sneaky underneath his wife's nose.
I mean, I don't know how sneaky you could be when you're him. It's hard, I would imagine.
I would imagine it's pretty hard too. But I mean, if you're meeting somebody at their home or whatever, and you pull up in the Porsche, the Porsche that checks out for me because he's such a nerd. Like that's what like a nerdy guy would do. Like, oh, let me get my Porsche because the chicks love Porsches. You know, that kind of shit. That's stupid shit.
All right, I guess.
That's what I think. The person said, we all assumed that was when he was with his women. I knew there were many offsite meetings that were not on his calendar. According to someone close to Bill, his infidelities were no secret to many of the people around him. Yet another source close to Bill disputed that he would disappear from the office, saying he was one of the most intensely scheduled people on the planet.
So he's a giant scumbag to his wife, at least.
Yeah.
At the very least.
Basically. Massive scumbag. Yeah.
Because my point with the Mercedes is it's a hat on a hat. It's putting a hat on a hat.
Yeah.
You're a billionaire already. It's like, we know you have Mercedes. Anybody who meets you knows you're probably going to have the best cars, the best everything. You know, it's I don't know. It's window dressing. I get it, but still.
Little validation for our old pal Frankie here. He spit out a theory a couple of episodes ago, and here's confirmation. People close to the couple said that there had been tension for some time and that they had been living separate lives for years and that the decision to separate had only been delayed until their youngest daughter graduated from high school.
Count it.
You nailed that one, my friend.
Boom.
You've been saying that for a couple of episodes.
Once the kids are out, that's it. This was in the works.
Yeah.
Didn't take a genius. Proven. And I think I just proved it. Doesn't take a genius.
But they're saying pockets of people around Silicon Valley, down in Florida horse country, which is very, very big.
Florida horse country?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I just never heard that term.
Yeah, down in where my parents live, actually, in the villages in Ocala. Believe it or not, a lot of celebrities own these huge horse farms down in Ocala for whatever reason. They're just like...
Just sounded weird. Florida horse country.
It's a bizarre little thing, you know? It's weird. It's like when I went on my honeymoon to Turks and Caicos. There was this whole like part of the island. They were like, and that's this celebrity's house, and that's this celebrity's house. And I'm like,
oh, sure.
And they all live next to each other. It's like, it's so weird how these little pockets like pop up everywhere, you know?
You think they go through regular old real estate agents? Like they just call 21st Century and be like, I'm George Clooney. I want a house in the Turks and Caicos.
Like out here in the Hamptons, I know there's some that you've heard of, like, you know, Corcoran, and there's like big ones that you've heard of, like Saunders and stuff like that. But there's one real estate agency out here in the Hamptons that literally only deals in homes that are $10 million and more. So if the home is less than 10 million, they won't even take the listing.
That's insane. Imagine the commission off of that.
I personally know real estate agents that all they really need to do is sell a house in a year. And they're golden.
I bet the effort, though, you got to sell that house, though. I mean,
well, when you're moving around a $15-20 million property, there's not a real big pool of people that have that money to throw around.
Right. I mean, you got to get your clients. I mean,
you can't.
It can't be easy.
Yeah, it's not. It's not like you just put it up on Zillow and they're gonna find it. You know, like you got to work the phones.
Let me
and
search
shit.
in the 10 million range here.
Yeah.
What do we got?
And what's weird is what happens with a lot of them is they wind up having to put 2 or 3 agents on it just to get the job done. So sometimes you could sell like a $5 million house, and then you got to get back out of it
3 ways.
Yeah, you got to split it all up 3 ways. So it can get a little difficult.
All right, I won't be a real estate agent. Fine.
The weird thing is out here is like everybody's a real estate. Like everybody in the Hamptons kind of gets their real estate license.
Well, real estate, if you do it right, it's big money.
It's big money, but they all kind of do it because if they know so-and-so where they can make a contact or they can figure out an introduction or whatever, they wind up getting 3% for almost nothing. So like all the waiters and waitresses and people who like work in the office, like secretaries or even like some accountants and shit like that. They're like, oh, I got my real estate. You know, they have my broker's license. Like they all have it. Just, you know.
Is it a backup or is this a side thing?
It's kind of like a side hustle, backup. Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of everything. Because again, like if you know so-and-so and you can bring them in, like let's say I'm an accountant and I know somebody who works with, God, name your celebrity, whatever, it doesn't matter.
Beyonce.
And I hear that they're looking for a house and I know, I'm the one who brings them in. That's 3%.
That's a finder's fee, baby.
Yeah. So they all have their friggin' licenses out there. It's crazy. One of the DJs that I used to work for, his famous line as he was quitting the business was like, I had to leave before I became a real estate agent. He was like, I couldn't. He was like, I was this close to. That's
the next thing. If you're a DJ and you finally go, enough of this. Well, you're pretty much a real estate agent.
I feel like 2 or 3 of the salespeople that worked with me at the radio station also had their licenses because it's
a good go-to. I mean, hell, it works if you could do it. You clean up, but it's a hustle though. You got to be a salesperson. You got to know how to do that.
You got to move it, baby.
Right.
Anyway, so horse country, New York City, they're all sort of this buzzing and these things are kind of getting around that things have been quiet since the initial push of information has come out. And with all these employees now starting to whisper, there's this feeling that there's a floodgate of information about to come out because, and I believe it too, because now you have all these journalists that are going to start following all these leads. They're going to start getting things confirmed and they're going to start reporting on a lot of stuff. So, you know.
Yeah. Plus that private detective didn't sign a non-disclosure, I'm sure.
He did not, or she, whoever it was, did not. So, a lot of people are saying that stuff's gonna come. So, and we're gonna keep our eye on it. So, if there's any juicy Gates stuff, make sure you subscribe to the channel here, YouTube or Facebook. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and of course, whatever your favorite podcast network is, Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever it is. Make sure you guys tune in. Get subscribed, and when we pop a new episode out, you'll be the first ones to know about it.
Sweet deal.
Make it nice and easy.
I like it.
What do you think, Frankie C? Juicy stuff to come? I feel like this huge. I feel like
it's gotta be. Whenever there's something like this, and I feel like we're just scratching the surface. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, it was just announced that they were getting divorced, and then. You know, it's every day something's trickling out, and whenever there's stuff like this, it's never over until everything's signed and everybody's parted ways, and the muckraking can be done with.
Yeah.
Or either that, or trials are done, or whatever's done is done. Nothing, until everything's settled, the dust settles. We're not going to see the end of this until then.
No, not at all. That's for sure. Definitely more to come there. All right, Kid Rock throwing the homophobic slur out there a little bit.
Yeah, being a giant d-bag as usual.
Yeah, you think he's a d-bag?
Yeah. hmm He's just, he's just like the kind of guy. I mean, I liked Ba with the Ba. I mean, but after that, what are we doing? He's just, I just was never a fan. He has this unearned sense of, who the hell I am kind of thing.
Are you just saying that because he loves Trump, or has this been a
No.
long-standing feeling?
He rubbed me the wrong way for, my name is Kid. Yeah, all right. That was like 30 years ago. I get it. That's great. How is he still in the spotlight with that one song?
He's had a lot of good songs. He had the one with Sheryl Crow. That was a massive hit. That was massive. That crossed over to adult contemporary. That was huge everywhere.
That's true.
The
and he had that
picture
country.
one. Yeah.
That country song, I guess.
He's had a bunch.
Yeah, that's true.
I will say this because it's been since
His
college.
attitude, yeah.
It's been since college. I went and saw him in college. I think it was Madison Square Garden. One of the best rock concerts I have ever seen.
All right.
He was so friggin' good. There was one point where he walked around and played every instrument on the stage, and not like, oh, I'll play this for a little bit, but they were playing a song and he would run over to the guitar player and literally like wedge himself into the guitar player and take over and play. Then he ran over to the drums, played drums, did like a crazy solo, went over to the piano. Like he played every instrument. I was so friggin' impressed with the guy as a musician. It was unreal. But this was like, it was college, so it was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Right. It's just that most of the time when there's a news story about Kid Rock, I feel like it's not positive.
Yeah.
Am I wrong there?
Well, I feel like there's been some rumblings the last couple of years because, again, he's been a pro-Trump guy. I feel like every pro-Trump person just gets attacked. Just like everybody just lines up to attack them because they like Trump. That's kind of been the MO.
All right, so maybe I'm what's it called? Judging a little too quickly. So what's this story?
This is not a great story.
No, it's not.
He was doing a gig at a bar somewhere, which I don't know. That's very beneath. Like, again, he plays arenas,
Yeah, I mean, it's not good though. He was at a Tennessee bar. He was on stage.
Yeah. And somebody started filming him with a smartphone, and he got fairly upset with that. And he dropped the old...
you effing F word.
Yeah.
Gay slur.
Yeah, which I don't really care for. I'm not...
No, that's not... We're past that as a society. We got to get rid of that.
I agree with that, yeah.
That's got to go.
You know me,
a lot of that stuff's got to go.
I'm not one for cancel culture, but I feel like we've moved past that word for sure.
That word's canceled. It's out.
Yeah.
No more of that.
Future. Fuck your iPhone. Post this. You can post this. You can post this dick right now. You fucking then put your phones in.
Yeah, I mean...
Unnecessary, right?
I think my initial, impression of Kid Rock was probably accurate.
Yeah. What doesn't look great is that, remember Morgan Wallen, who was the guy who also threw some homophobic slurs around?
He did.
Quite liberally. The first gig that Morgan did when he came back from that was at Kid Rock's bar. So this is not... Yeah.
So maybe it's a cultural thing, and we should attack it at the roots and maybe teach that out.
Again, I'm not a cancel culture kind of guy, but feels like maybe some inner reflection should be done here from Mr. Rock.
I feel like, cancel culture is not the right term. I think I've said this before. It's got to be accountability culture. Just take responsibility.
Yeah.
You did it. If you did it, you can apologize. See, I'm also for forgiveness culture. If someone's sorry, if they say, hey, you know what, I screwed up. It was a mistake. I've learned from it. I'm never, I'm going to work on myself, never do that again. It'll be better in the future. And my wholehearted apology to anybody I offended. Then, yeah, we can forgive and move on. It's one of those things that we have. It has to be more than just cancel. If the person is truly sorry, I feel like we got to get on board with, because that's what lesson is that people make mistakes, people screw up all the time.
Agree.
We want to teach kids that if you make a mistake, you're not, your life isn't over. You got to be able to come back a little. I mean, if it might not be, it might not be the greatest person in the world, but at least we can forgive you and we, move on.
See, but I feel like all these things again. All these things need to be judged individually. Like we talk about.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You talk about Kevin Hart having some homophobic tweets from 10 years ago. I can forgive that a little easier than like it's 2021. Like you just said this.
Yeah,
this is not good.
Well, not only that. I mean, it's 2021. Everybody's got a smartphone. Everybody's probably filming you if you're Kid Rock and you're on stage. You got to be used to that. I'm sorry. I mean, even if you're just cursing at the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, a homophobic thing is terrible, but to flip out at all at the guy recording is ridiculous. Of course, there's people recording you.
Yeah.
But the homophobic stuff's got to go.
And so this I'm particularly like, I feel like everybody has their sensitivities. I'll never forget this.
No, of course not.
I mean,
it's a big, I mean, I don't know how it's one of those, if he comes out and he's like, I'm sorry. And, yeah, okay. All right. I mean, but it's got to be the community has to forgive and, it's got to be one of those heartfelt, again, I'm all for forgiving people if they're truly, truly sorry and they've earned the forgiveness. You can't just go, I'm sorry, I screwed up. You got to be like, you got to do something. You got to mean it. Actions louder than words, kind of.
But you know what though? Even this, it's like that was so unnecessary.
Yeah, it's bad.
So unnecessary.
That's hard to forgive. That's a hard one.
A similar thing happened. I don't know. Were you there? Did you tell? Like, I feel like So Frank and I, a billion years ago, worked at the same radio station, and I'll just tell the story. What do I give a shit? I'm not protecting anybody.
I don't know the story.
The guy, Jay from Jay and the Americans, Caramia, Come a Little Bit Closer, classic songs. Were you? I guess you weren't there. Maybe you. I felt like you were there. Anyway.
I mean, he was around a bunch of times at that station.
We're doing a concert, and it's Jay from Jay and the Americans. He comes out and sings, and everybody's super excited. And it's not like we were at an arena or anything. Like we were literally at a park, and people brought their lawn chairs, but there was still like 3,000 people there. I mean, it was a good crowd. It was a nice crowd. And somebody starts taking pictures of him. And I'm away from the stage, but I'm like, handing out prizes to people, and we're having fun with the crowd and everything. And somebody goes up to take a picture of him, and he says something to the effect of like, "Oh, you want to take a picture of me? And he uses the F word. And this was 2000 and whatever. But I'm talking like grandma and grandpa bringing the grandkids. They're out on the blanket, like everybody's having a good time. And he just blurts this out, and I was like, oh God. And it was so like and this was
That's not good, man.
This was probably when that word was being thrown around with acceptance.
A little more liberally.
And the place just went quiet because it was, again, so unnecessary. And when I saw this, it reminded me of that because I'm kind of like, you're on stage with a microphone. What? Like, people are going to take pictures of you and film you and shit. What do you think is going to happen?
That's what I'm saying with this Kid Rock thing. But, two things are wrong with this. One is the major thing is the homophobic stuff. The second thing is, I mean, you could be pissed at people taking pictures. That happens. I get it. But the homophobic thing is uncalled for, and it's got to go. That's got to go.
Yeah.
I mean, we should be well beyond that by now. This day and age should be over. People could be what they want, and there should be no. That's a judgment, That's a negative.
Well, let's not say people could be what they want. Like, I wish you would get out of the '90s and watch something other than Golden.
I'm allowed to enjoy things, and I enjoyed the '90s.
But there's great things coming out these days. You should really check it out.
Name one. Name one thing. Go ahead. You're on the spot.
By the way, somebody in it was Jen. suggested that we do a full-on Seinfeld episode where we just go over like the best Seinfeld episodes, which
I'm in.
we are totally good. I know we always say we're going to do these things. This one feels like an easy one since we both know the series
Slam
so well.
dunk.
This is like a Labor Day count. This will be our like Firecracker 5000. I think this will be like a countdown episode.
Like a 4th of July kind of thing. Yeah, we'll list our best moments or our best, I don't know, something from Seinfeld. But our anybody who knows us knows that Seinfeld was that's our show growing up. That was it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to pick a show that was better. I think The Office is up there. It comes close maybe, but that Seinfeld is so classic.
It's classic.
So classic.
Whatever. Something. It did something at some time.
Speaking of The Office, I ignored this the first time around. I think we did. We didn't really talk. If we talked about it, it wasn't a big deal. Elle Kemper from The Office.
Right. I don't think we touched on this at all.
Yeah. So the story was, and this is what amazes me about cancel culture. Somebody went back and found a picture of Elle Kemper from 1999 in a newspaper called the Post-Dispatch. And they put like, how the hell did you find this picture? And it was like a beauty pageant thing, and she won. And okay. And then the story is that the organization that runs the beauty pageant supposedly
not good. KKK stuff.
Not the most racially accepted. Yeah. Really, like really bad. Which is fine. To hate on those people, totally okay with me.
Yeah, screw the KKK.
But I bring it up again now because she apologized today, and like, to me it bothers me a little bit.
Hey, you know what do you mean, which part of it bothers you? That someone went digging?
Somebody went digging. She wrote this, and a lot of things bother me. When this story came out, people were literally calling her the queen of the KKK. I mean,
that's a little much. I mean, she
ridiculous.
Was 19. She probably, I mean, again, and she said in her apology that ignorance is not an excuse, but I mean, if she didn't know, she didn't know.
That's what I'm saying. She should have, to make a statement on it, okay. To be like, hey, I'm sorry if it hurt anybody, okay. But we're at the point, Frank, and this is ridiculous, where we're apologizing for shit that happened. Now, hang with me. We're apologizing for shit that happened 20-something years ago by a 19-year-old that, according to her, and I believe it because I didn't know half of the shit that was going on in the world at 19. She had no idea.
Yeah,
and you read this apology. I'm going to read the apology. She's acting like she burned a cross on somebody's lawn.
No, but listen, an apology is an apology, and when you say it and you mean it, it comes through like that. And if this is, if it's heartfelt, it's going to sound like what you're about to read.
By the way, what upsets me about this is and this is like the difference between Kid Rock and I was about to say Kevin Hart. When somebody really should be apologizing, when somebody really does something bad and wrong, it doesn't mean anything because we waste our time on shit like this. This was her apology. Hi guys, when I was 19 years old, I decided to participate in a debutante ball in my hometown. The century-old organization that hosted the debutante ball had an unquestionably racist, sexist, and elitist past. I was not aware of this history at the time, but ignorance is no excuse. I was old enough to have educated myself before getting involved.
She took ownership of it.
There's more. But
okay, I know. She took responsibility and she apologized. She's apologizing.
You know what?
And that's something we as a society should be able to recognize.
Yeah, it's great, but this whole thing that I think it's bullshit. She was 19.
Yeah, that's fun. But that's the thing. Like, if
I think she's full of shit here. I think she's like, I just need to say this to get this off of my back because
it's probably true though. She has to apologize because she's apologizing because obviously people who look up to her, people who see her as a role model, this is something she has to address. It's not something she could just ignore. It's something that happened. And
I agree, but to be like, hey, I was 19 and I was, into beauty pageants and, I was just trying to get out of my fucking shit kicker town. And I thought by winning this, it would be good for me, or I'd get the scholarship, or I'd win the prize money, or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah. She was 19, for Christ's sake.
So what is your problem?
My problem is that this is bullshit. I think she thinks it's bullshit. I think she wrote it with a fucking PR company, and I think it tarnishes when you really need to apologize for something that was really wrong. This was stupid shit from the past.
Yeah, but stupid shit or not, if she went the other route and said, I'm not apologizing.
No, if she would have been like, hey, I'm sorry if you were offended. I was 19. I had no idea. We had no idea. She's
basically saying that, but she's saying it in the nicest way possible.
Nicest
she's
PR.
Probably a nice person.
PR way that fucking.
Well, you're a celebrity. You got to consult with people. You can't just, especially when something's national news, you can't just go out on your own. You've got people who depend on you for their livelihood. You can't just throw it all on a tweet. Or
I agree. No, I agree. But it's just okay. Let me read the rest of it. The century-old organization that hosted the debutante ball had an unquestionably racist, sexist, and elitist past. I was not aware of this history at the time, but ignorance is no excuse. I was old enough to have educated myself before getting involved. I unequivocally deplore, denounce, and reject white supremacy. At the same time, I acknowledge that because of my race and my privilege, I am beneficiary of a system that has dispensed unequal justice and unequal rewards. There is a very natural temptation when you become the subject of internet criticism to tell yourself that your detractors are getting it all wrong. But at some point last week, I realized that a lot of the forces behind the criticism are forces that I've spent my life supporting and agreeing with. I believe strongly in the values of kindness, integrity, and inclusiveness. I try to live my life in accordance with these values. If my experience is an indication that organizations and institutions with pasts that fall short of these beliefs should be held to account, then I have to see this experience in a positive light. I want to apologize to the people I've disappointed, and I promise that moving forward I will listen and continue to educate myself and use my privilege in support of a better society I think we're capable of becoming. Thanks for reading this.
I think that's well thought out and smart.
Sucks balls, if you ask me.
What is your problem with people apologizing?
Because I feel like if she's really, if this is like, if she, like, if that's like if somebody comes and goes, you should apologize, for some shit, I would be like, fuck you. I'm very accepting. I absolutely don't believe this. I'm sorry if you were offended, but that shit ain't me. Buzz off. Done.
But it was you.
I was 19. I fucking had no idea. No clue.
Yeah, exactly. She's saying that, but she's saying it not like an asshole, the way you're saying it.
You say asshole, I say direct to the point.
Asshole. She's being a nice person and apologizing in a
I think
respectful,
nice and bending over to the mob.
There's no such thing as too nice.
A fucking blue checkmark liberal cancel culture people on Twitter.
Nothing to do with liberal. Nothing to do with liberal. It's about apologizing for something that may have put you in some sort of bad light that may have disappointed some people who look up to you. You're apologizing because that's the right thing to do.
I would be like, I was 19 and I didn't know.
She did that.
I'll wait for all of you people who have no weird shit that happened to you and you were fucking 19 to come and criticize me. What is that Jesus thing? He who has not sinned may cast the first stone, motherfucker. Right. That's what I would say.
Right. Yeah. But, maybe take off the motherfucker and, add some nice words in there. And you basically got what Elle Kemper said.
Like,
she didn't say I'm not, but we all understand. As a human being, we all understand that everybody fucks up. Everybody fucks up.
Of course.
So this is just taking, responsibility and apologize. Now we could all either accept it or not and move on.
But do you see my point where I think this is damaging because you do have covert racist assholes out there. And by making, I don't know Elle Kemper, but I'm going to assume she's a nice person.
Seems
she's
like a
not
nice person.
White supremacist. By making her apologize, you ruin it when you're trying to fucking get people that you really do need to educate and get them to understand. It's ruined. You have no power now.
How is that ruined?
Because if you
still apologize,
if you make everybody apologize for every fucking thing that happened 30 years ago when they didn't know any, this is not like
no one made her apologize. No one made her apologize. But she chose to do that.
There's a difference between, I was 19 and I went out and I went to the Klan meeting, or I spray painted a swastika, but I didn't know.
Of course,
there's a difference between that and just going. It's a fucking debutante ball. They happen in every town, everywhere across America. I'm sure you and I were in plays and did things with organizations that were maybe somebody up at the top was fucking sketchy and some shit. And what are we gonna do? Fucking apologize for that now?
That's a huge difference.
How is that a huge difference?
One guy's sketchy. No, this was an organization that had ties to the Ku Klux Klan, the worst fucking thing in America, one of the worst things in America. And so it's not just gonna, you gotta say, listen, she said it the right way. She said, I was 19, I had no idea, and I'll try harder next time. I'm not gonna, and she apologized, and that's it. Move on.
Ugh, I hate it.
See, you're the one lingering on it. She's apologized. Now we can all move on. That's the point. That's the point of forgiveness culture.
I don't mind her talking about it or addressing it, but I would love it if she was just like, you know what? Go out there and get the real racist assholes, because that ain't fucking me.
Yeah, they'll do that too. But let's, the little things matter too.
Will they though?
I'm not saying she did any, right or wrong. I don't know. She didn't know. So I get that. That I understand. But it helps when you apologize. It's just it's a nice thing to do. And it helps. It helps people who don't feel like apologizing. It helps set an example.
All right, here's somebody who is the queen of apologies, especially in HR meetings. That's Jay Sabs. Welcome to the program there, Jay Sabs.
What did Elle Kemper do?
She apologized, and I'm all bent out of shape over it. And Frank,
what did she apologize for?
Frank thinks it's wonderful.
She was in a beauty pageant when she was 19, back in like 1999 or something. And apparently the people who ran the pageant, the society that ran the
By the way, it wasn't like
ties to the Ku Klux Klan.
It wasn't like it was the KKK beauty pageant. I feel like it was an organization just like
she knew.
Like it was it was probably just like the Sons of Italy or whatever the fuck Lions Club that's around any fucking area.
Of course, it probably wasn't called the KKK pageant.
Yeah,
but the place that put it on was a company or whatever that put it on was known for being white supremacists and whatever. She had no idea, so she just went out there and said, "Listen, I should have done." I was old enough. I was an adult. I was 19. I should have, looked into who was putting this thing on, and she apologized. Now we can all move on. It's not we don't have to spend forever on
she mentions her privilege, and from what I was reading, that she had like not the greatest childhood. That she had
She's talking about her privilege now, like she's a person of wealth and advanced means and all that stuff. So she has a certain it's no secret that I guess that white people have, an edge, I guess, in society. Apparently, that's what society does for some stupid reason, and she's acknowledging that, and said she's going to do better with her means. That's all.
I mean, she was 19 years old, so that's not really
which is why we should all just forgive and move on.
She shouldn't even apologize. I'm sorry. Right. I agree with Anthony.
She should. So this comes up, and she doesn't apologize, and everybody's waiting to hear. and she probably will never get hired again because nobody wants to see her in a movie, and it destroys her career.
But
she just could have said, "I'm sorry."
But who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? It's not like she did anything wrong. She was just in a pageant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't?
I know, but
hire her after this.
Someone who wants to sell tickets to whatever the fuck she's in.
But it's an amazing like.
It's not a huge deal to apologize.
It's not a huge deal, but it's really.
Frank, do you apologize every fight?
I'm sorry,
right?
But I
every
do.
single fight.
If that offends you, then I'm sorry.
Wait until we start digging up shit in your past, Frank.
I will not change who I am.
You'll wind up apologizing every week on this podcast.
If I got it, I'll apologize for whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
I'm still waiting for my apology, so I doubt that.
What am I apologizing to you for? I'm sorry, whatever it is.
If you don't know, that's the real problem.
I'm sorry for not knowing.
You've heard that in an argument before.
That is a cliche.
Sam, I'm talking to you.
Oh, let me tell you something.
You should know.
I've heard that there's very few phrases that can set absolute panic through your body, and that is one of them. Like, you should know why I'm upset, and you're just like, oh, I have no idea. I got to think about things.
I honestly
I've definitely felt like that.
The first thing I do now is go right to my calendar. Oh, what fucking day is it? Oh, shit.
I re-examine and I go, what the hell did I have no idea. What did I do? I don't know.
All right, here's another thing Frank's been worried about for a long time is why everything is so shitty in Washington and why we can't get out of it. So the Koch brothers, right? These are the famous brothers that for years paid for climate denying, and they were getting that. And then they were like, oh, maybe there is something for climate. So everybody changed their mind on that. Now there's an electoral reform bill that they're trying to get passed through Congress where senators and congresspeople, while they're running, won't be able to take huge sums of money from donors. And guess who is paying large sums of money to oppose the passage of this bill? The Koch brothers. And ironically, they're saying that this bill has bipartisan support. Yet the Koch brothers are doing whatever they can to get it.
They want to be able to buy the government, and they're afraid of losing their control.
So, Frank, you've been wondering why can't we get anything? Why can't we fix anything? This is the reason why.
I said the last episode of this podcast, I said we got to get rid of lobbying. That should be illegal. Lobbying's got to go. You shouldn't be able to pay any government official to vote in your favor. That's ridiculous. How is that? That's like the biggest scam money scam I could think of.
We need strong, independent people who aren't going to take. That's why it's so great. Bernie, Trump, I'll even say it. Matt Gates down in Florida came out and said he would no longer take political contributions. You need all these people to do the exact same thing. To say, I will crowdsource my election and just take money from the people. That's the only way these things should be done these days.
You should use your own money and, GoFundMe or whatever the hell. But it shouldn't come from the NRA. It shouldn't come from anybody. The environment. Nobody should have influence because they're paying money on over the government.
President Trump made a speech in one of the Carolinas. I can't tell the difference between North and South. The Carolinas and Dakotas, you can go fuck yourselves. I'll put you in the general area, and that's the best I can do.
South Dakota has the Mount Rushmore. It's the only.
Does it? I couldn't tell you. I don't even know.
Who?
Right.
I know what that is, but
So it was in North Carolina.
I tell you what I'd like to do is split up that Texas to go North Texas, South Texas. Let's chop that top off. The way perfect square Texas, and then South Texas. I think that'd be nice.
Oh,
it's not bad. North and South too. So another state.
I can't help that I have these wonderfully innovative ideas. What do you want me to do about it? Go ahead.
Who's listening to you? No. So he gave his first public speech since leaving office in North Carolina at a rally. And
what'd you think?
I did not see this. I did not listen to the speech. I didn't hear it. I didn't watch it. The only thing that I got from it was the news stories that are saying that his pants were on backwards.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Now, I found this to be quite amusing. I was like, no, how do you manage to do that? How do you pull your pants up, zip it, and button it, and put the belt on if it's backwards?
Yeah.
But then I looked at the pictures. I mean, there's one, Snopes, I think, is the only news outlet saying that, no, it's not, pants aren't backwards, blah, blah, blah. But everybody's like, prove me wrong. Look at these photos. And they're, not flattering photos.
The funniest thing was, when was this, Saturday night? Sunday night?
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday, I don't remember.
So I watched the speech live, and I was on Twitter, and President Scrooge from Spaceballs.
From Spaceballs. Why did somebody tell me my ass was so big?
Was trending. And yeah, that was the old Spaceballs gimmick where he was getting beamed from one location to the other, and they beamed him too many times, and he wound up with his ass in front of him. His ass is backwards. But honestly, he didn't have his pants on backwards. I saw it. There was this weird puffiness to his groinal area, which was odd.
If he didn't have his pants on backwards, he was at the very least wearing adult diapers.
Well, that's what the other thing people were saying, is that he was wearing diapers, which I don't know about that either. I mean, there was, like I said, there's a weird groinal puffiness happening. Yeah.
The only president that wears adult diapers is Biden. I mean, come on. But he's been wearing them for years, so.
Come on.
Even Carter doesn't wear adult diapers. Good for him, big man.
Jimmy,
way to go, Jimmy.
What makes you say that?
His general appearance?
He doesn't look like Frank. He does. This is obvious proof that he does.
Oh,
come
Frank.
On.
No,
come on.
It does. It's not that
you
it's
think
diapers.
He still remembers he has a penis? You think Biden is of sound mind, that he knows that he has to go to the potty? Frank.
You think Trump is more sound than Biden? Are you out of your mind?
He's crazy, but he's in sound mind.
That makes zero sense. He's crazy, but is of sound mind.
Meaning,
two complete opposite statements.
He's fam knows what I mean. Back me up over here.
Biden did say he went winky in his binky. I heard that's a direct quote from the White House.
We all understood what he was saying.
I'm just saying. We all understood what he was saying.
No, but I'm sorry.
I heard, I don't want to get in the middle of the two of you here, but I heard that how Trump had a Diet Coke button on his desk. Biden has a I need my diaper changed button on his desk. I
heard that too, actually.
Telling you what people are saying.
At least he's addressing the problem. Trump refuses to address this issue.
Okay, now to all seriousness, I don't know if that's a diaper, but the wrinklies in the front, he's definitely got a static electricity or some sort of issue.
What the hell is that?
No, it's the type of fabric that he's wearing.
Stop it!
It's true.
I've never seen anybody's pants look like this ever. With those wrinkles.
I would say that they are probably a linen blend.
Okay, if he's a so-called billionaire,
he's laughing at me, but I'm the one who was in fashion.
No, because you said that with such confidence. That's why I was laughing.
Sorry.
I know though.
But if he's a so-called billionaire, you think you could afford to, buy clothes that fit you, a suit jacket that maybe fits you, pants that don't look like you're wearing a circus tent.
Like I don't know what's up with, like, that's my educated guess from my history and career.
I wasn't Janine. I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at the confidence of which you delivered that line of
100% confidence.
Yeah,
that's great confidence. But I got to tell you, as a pants wearer myself, I've never seen my pants do anything like this.
But Frank, your father didn't invent plaid. Your father didn't invent plaid and hasn't.
That's true.
Janine grew up in this industry.
That's true. But it doesn't. I mean, come on. You have to at least acknowledge that it looks like he's wearing adult diapers here. Look at that.
Weird. I don't even know what a person wearing adult diapers looks like. I hope to never know that.
Right here, I'm showing you. Right there.
Yeah, no. That's a linen blend that he probably, I don't know what he was doing beforehand. I'm not making excuses, but that I'm making an educated guess right there.
If his pants aren't on backwards, then he's definitely got some kind of padding going on.
His pants are definitely not on backwards. It's almost impossible.
Why would they wrinkle up though if he had a diaper on? It would make it smoother.
No, once you sit down or something, it'll crumple or whatever the hell. I don't know. I don't wear wrinkly crumply.
I hate to make this a serious conversation, but how much money would it take for you to wear adult diapers and soil yourself? Let's go to Frank first.
You don't have it. I can tell you that right now.
Janine?
You can't afford it.
It all depends on the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If it's at work and the bathroom situation is tough, you bet your ass I'm going to my car and doing that.
So no money. It's just if the situation is tough. There's no money being paid.
No. If the bathroom situation is tough, then you got me. Sorry.
Number one or
it.
number two?
Both. No, especially number two. What? Number one is okay. Number two, no.
So you're not doing number two.
I'll tell you something. When I first saw the last bathroom where I worked, the bathroom of the last place I worked, I remember I told you it's in the middle of the office. I will get you a picture. I seriously considered buying Depends and sitting in my car because I was like, there is no way. I'm not even kidding. You could ask, if I text my friend right now, she's going to be like, yeah, I definitely remember when you said that. Because I was like, there's no way. Like, there is no way I'm going to do that in this office. No fucking way.
So you'd rather sit in your car, go through that, and then have to do the whole process of changing and everything?
Yep. So just so I don't have to shit in the middle of the office, you bet your ass I won't.
That's fantastic.
I don't know, man. I'd rather shit right on top of my desk.
Put me down. Put me down for 25 to 100 grand, depending on who's asking.
Oh God.
Number one or number two?
Number two is going to be more money,
right.
For sure. But yeah,
you gotta sit in it for the. How long do you have to sit in it?
No, I wouldn't.
You just go and then it's immediately taken off.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's different.
Yeah, it's not you got to sit in it, but it depends on who's asking. If they got 100 grand to throw around, I'm going to put 100 grand price tag on it for sure. Absolutely.
I imagine so.
Yeah. Well, let us know in the comments below how much it would take for you to do such a thing.
Yeah.
Because we really want to know.
But I will say, when I first tuned in to watch Trump, his voice, I don't know what was going on with his voice with the mic, but I thought it was actually a fake thing. So I was like, oh, this is somebody doing an impression of him. And then when the picture clears up then and you could see it, like, you know how when you click on something at first, it's fuzzy? Okay. When it cleared up and it was really him, I was like, oh, shit, that's really him. He sounds...
Why, what was different?
I don't know. It was a little bit more higher pitched when I tuned in. I don't know if it was the connection or what it was. But I thought it was a fake at first. Legitimately thought it was a fake. And then I was like, oh, this guy's really giving a speech. And then I sat there and I listened to it, but he was playing the hits. There was nothing new.
Of course
there.
he was.
He was just playing the hits, going over everything.
He's got nothing left to say except, I was robbed. What the biggest fraud this country's ever seen. I didn't even see the speech, but I could do it word for word probably. All
right, let's move on because we're running short on time here.
We are.
Bezos is going out into outer space. So he's going to step down. He announced he's going to step down, but he's going to step down from Amazon. And then 15 days later, he's going to get on, I think Blue Orbit is his company or the rocket thing that he's been developing. And he's going to go into outer space.
Have they been testing this? I mean, is that ready? I mean, I've never heard of this or any of its tests.
Yeah, it's weird. Supposedly, secretly, they've been doing a lot of tests. Now, the rumors have been that they're so far behind Elon Musk and SpaceX. But for him to be like, I'm going to hop on board and go on up there, he must know that they're ready to go.
Because Elon Musk has blown up his fair share of rockets.
No shit. And he hasn't stepped on one of them. He is like, I am no, there's not even been an inkling of I'm going to get on one of those one day. Yeah.
No, because he has his mothership to go back to.
I guess. I mean, you have, all the money in the world. Just might as well just go to space. That's it.
Well, I get it, but
I mean, this is kind of crazy. I mean, he said, I was kind of touched by it. He was like, ever since I was a little boy, I wanted to go in outer space. And I feel like
that's a different story.
Who didn't, as a little boy, want to go into outer space?
Yeah, didn't we all kind of have that moment of like, oh, that'd be some cool shit? Yeah.
I want to be an astronaut. That's one of the big astronaut, firefighter, all this stuff.
But he can. Like, didn't one of the NSYNC kids go up there one day?
It's a boy thing.
Yeah, I think with NASA, though.
Yeah, true. Wasn't who was the NSYNC kid that went up there?
Lance Bass did it.
Was it?
Pretty sure.
You know how I know you're a closet NSYNC fan?
Not closet. Great.
Oh God, no.
Metallica
Bye,
and
bye,
NSYNC.
baby.
That's the complexity of Frank.
It's all up here.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was asked this question. Brian the Cannon Bennett asked me this question. We were on the air one day. He's like, if we figured out we can go into outer space, when would you go? And my answer was, and I stand by it, 10 years later. I want 10 years to pass by.
Well, what do you mean figured out we can go into outer space? We've done that.
No, I'm saying, but like when it becomes common that normal people can just, like, you get on an airplane, you get on a spaceship and you're going to go into outer space. Like, how long until you feel comfortable doing that? I'm saying at least 10 years.
Oh yeah, no.
So let's say next year they start flying people in regular planes, but they're talking about going out of the what's it called? The atmosphere, and going into space to make the trip shorter.
Yeah.
And they can move faster.
Yeah.
You're saying give that thing, whatever that is, 10 years.
Around 10 years. Because remember when the Wright brothers were like, oh, we figured out how to fly. It was a long time till they fucking really nailed it down, though.
Exactly, because it's like, all right, we could do it, but how long it's going to take to actually do it?
Yes.
Perfect it.
Yeah.
So you want, I could, I mean, because space doesn't fuck around. I mean, one mistake, it's fucking over.
It's over. There's no correcting that shit. It's fucking, you're done. That's it.
One duct tape is not fixing something that falls off in space.
I would definitely not.
I would never do this. And this just goes to, by the way, this goes to show you that money really does not buy happiness. Because this should be the happiest motherfucker that'd be like, I have such a great life. I am not chancing it by going into outer space. And he's just like, oh, I'm gonna go. I'll go right in.
Hey, you know what? Maybe in his mind he's not chancing it, and he knows he could do this. As they've done the tests, who knows?
I don't know.
But it's still a risk. I don't want to go skydiving.
That's still a rough call. That is a rough call.
Has anybody here gone skydiving?
I would never do that. I would never in my life do that. I have no desire to do it. I never did.
Go skydiving?
Never.
I would have lost money on that, Janine. I would have lost
Yeah,
money
you
on
probably
that.
would have.
You're the big risk taker.
would've.
You're the
I know.
Yes, you peed in a public, and I would say a stage performance bathroom.
And you're willing to pee in your car. In your pants at work.
When you got up when you were done, did you bow? Be honest with everybody.
I did.
All right.
I did something else, but I can't say it on the show.
Hi-oh.
On my OnlyFans, I could tell you, but that's about it.
Oh, there you go.
But you wouldn't go skydiving? Never?
No, never.
I think I would.
Is it the height? Is it the fact that maybe the chute won't open? All of it?
All of it. The height is a big thing for me. Yeah. I don't like heights.
You kind of need the height, though. I don't want you to go skydiving too low. That wouldn't be good either.
That wouldn't be good.
You need a little time to get that chute open.
Right. I mean, once you pass 100 feet, it doesn't matter how high you are.
I don't even like roller coasters. Yeah, I don't like roller coasters. So why would I? No.
Really? I thought you loved like theme parks, though.
I like theme parks. I prefer water parks. I know you probably think they're gross.
I would love water parks if they weren't gross. I would love it. Right. I've been to them, and I know they're gross. I just wish they weren't.
I like more theme rides, like Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. That's my stuff, but not actually like roller coasters. Like, it's what you go up, down, around, up, and that's it. Like, I want an experience.
You want a story? So, I get that.
I want a story. I want an experience. And that's it.
What about those slingshot things? They launch you in
Absolutely
the ball.
Not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either.
Those I don't get, but there's like a beauty to like just jumping out of that plane and seeing the earth. It almost kind of like you're falling so fast, but it almost kind of all slows down a little bit when you're up there.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never.
Nick did it, but not me.
Your brother, he did it? He went skydiving?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Frank, would you go skydiving?
I would. My thing is, I get motion sickness pretty easily. I wish I didn't. I want to be able to go on roller coasters. I want to be able to do all this kind of stuff. I get motion sickness. So I'd have to, if I did.
It's not worth it after, is what you're saying. Like,
I'd be
it's
so
not worth
nauseous.
it. Yeah.
I'm not afraid
that's
of
the same
heights.
thing.
I'm not afraid of heights. I'm not afraid of going in an airplane, and I wouldn't be afraid to parachute. but I feel like I'd just get nauseous and I wouldn't enjoy it. But I would love to be able to.
That's true. I have seen Frank throw up when he walks too fast sometimes. So it's a real issue.
That's the truth.
I've seen you get sick on airplanes too, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I'm not, but airplanes is different. Like there was turbulence. You were there for that one. The turbulence was pretty bad.
You threw up?
There was no
threw up on a plane. Yeah.
This is the smoothest plane ride I've ever been on.
You say it like it's more than once.
No, that once I threw up with Anthony. He took pictures of me while I did it. Yeah, I don't know where those pictures are, but you got them somewhere.
I forgot about that.
I got my head in the
That's
a
dick
bag.
move. That's a dick move.
Is.
I have to pee.
Yep.
Keep going. I have to pee.
I remember the him going like and just the flash going.
It was our trip to Canada or back, or one of the trips. It was either to there or back.
Was it?
And yeah, because it wasn't Vegas.
Oh, that was great. Good times.
And yeah, and I threw up, and because you remember that the turbulence was ridiculous. You remember that?
Smoothest flight I've ever been on.
You're an asshole.
In fact, I remember telling Prince that as he walked across the airport. I was like, "Wasn't that a smooth flight?" And he was like, "Smooth, baby."
Did you say that?
It didn't happen. It was Prince's birthday. Prince's birthday. Bill Hader was born on this day, which fuck him because my wife has a little thing for him, so I'm always been a little sour on him.
Love Bill Hader.
Bill Hader and
don't be a Bill Hader.
Dean Martin all share a birthday.
Dino.
Yeah. And I thought, like, oh, isn't that crazy? All those like famous, very, entertaining people, talented people. And then I thought about it. I'm like, there's like 6 billion people on this planet. Like, we're all, and there's only 365 days. We're all sharing a lot of birthdays.
There's millions on every day.
Yeah. The more I think about it, isn't it crazy they were all born on the same day? It's, you know what? No, it's not that fucking crazy. There's 6 billion people. Yeah. Rob Zombie's going to get to direct the Munsters, Frankie C. What do you think about that?
Depends. Is this going to be a horror movie? Is it a TV show? It's a movie.
Movie, and I think we're all having the same thought you're having.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be a comedy or if it's going to be a horror thing because he's mostly Rob Zombie does horror stuff.
He'll direct the shit out of a horror movie. He's like becoming a master in that little realm. But comedy,
I wasn't a fan of the Halloween. The way he did that. Nah.
A lot of people love his work. I don't know.
Yeah, no, other stuff, sure. He's done some good stuff. But the Munsters, I mean, we all know the Munsters is the TV show from the 70s.
It's always wacky
80s.
And fun and
wacky.
Yeah.
But is it going to be like, Grandpa Munster, sucks the life out of someone? Or is it going to be, they're chasing Frankenstein with with pitchforks and...
Yeah, I don't know. He just announced it today. So one of the things we'll keep our eye on. And the world's opening back up. We're coming back. And nothing is more evident than Bruce coming back to Broadway. He killed it for like a year and a half on Broadway.
Bruce Valanche?
This is Bruce Springsteen.
Oh, yeah.
I wish we get Bruce Valanche back.
What's he up to?
I think, did he die?
No.
You're going to have to look that up.
I think he writes a lot. I think he does behind the scenes stuff a lot.
Might be dead.
I'm looking him up. I don't think he's dead.
Bruce back on Broadway. He's going to go starting in June. June 26th. He's going to be at the St. James Theater dates through December 4th. I also like the move because a little bit of a power move on Lin-Manuel Miranda. Be like, you're not the only one that could sell this shit out, motherfucker. Here I come.
Boom.
Boss.
Yeah. By the way, Bruce Valanche is alive, 72 years old.
Thank God. All right, good. Also, as part of the deal, the St. James Theater has agreed to provide Bruce with a driver. We can't have happen what happened last time.
Good thing, man.
Yeah.
You got to get him home safely.
Narrowly escaped that one.
So when is this happening?
Yeah, because he's bringing it back.
When is he back on?
June 26th to September 4th.
Oh, that's relative.
So he doesn't need to be doing this, but he's doing it because he's going to put asses in seats, vaccinated asses in seats.
Love it.
Yeah.
Go Bruce.
So the boss is coming back. Tickets go on sale on SeatGeek, believe it. Remember when SeatGeek was just like the bootleg, StubHub that nobody dealt with ever?
I always thought StubHub was bootleg for like Ticketmaster.
Yeah. And
really?
Well,
but it was good. It was good.
It was the resale one for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now you can only buy tickets on SeatGeek starting Thursday, June 10th.
Wow.
post topics, I feel like I need to apologize to JSAPs.
About what?
Being a dick.
Yeah, I won't apologize for taking pictures of Frank throwing up, but yesterday I did something bad. I got a large iced caramel latte from Dunkin' Donuts yesterday, and I felt like I was doing something wrong, that I wasn't like with our gal J Sabs in her quest to take down Dunkin' Donuts. And I said, "Can I have 4 pumps?" And they said to me, "No problem, sir. With somebody like you, you have kind eyes. However many pumps you want." Was a direct quote. So I felt
direct.
Bad. You see that? What a dick he is.
Well, I think that's what the guy said. I don't know. I was in my car. I made him walk it out to me curbside, but I'm pretty sure that's probably what he was thinking.
That makes sense.
Mean,
I feel bad about it though.
Okay, you know what? I gotta go.
I got a dozen donuts too. The kids loved it. It was a good time.
I can go for a donut right now.
But I felt bad. I'm back on the train of like, screw Dunkin' Donuts. We're boycotting Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
I don't want to boycott Dunkin'. I like Dunkin' Donuts.
You're not a team player, Frank.
No, we boycott the one. Used to boycott the one that Chase Apps goes to. That's the one we got a problem with.
No, that all of them. The corporate has corporate gotten back to you? Have they made it right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And you know what? I'm gonna have to.
What did I tell you?
Them again.
I'm telling. Write a letter. Emails, they get lost.
This is not 1985. Hold on.
Doesn't matter. I'm telling you.
Yeah, my mother writes letters. That's a bad move.
It's the way. I'm telling you.
You don't want to be in the same group as my mom ever for anything.
You're gonna get a response that way. I'm telling you.
No.
Because it gets handed up the chain. You put the top person's name on it. The top person goes, "Why am I getting this?" And then they open it, and it becomes a big thing.
Who's the top person? What chain? What are you talking about?
Whatever the top, of the region, the top Dunkin' Donuts person.
Talking about those fat cats over at Big Donut? Is that what you're talking about?
The people, the guys upstairs, the big donut. Big donut is
Big donut.
All right, I think we've covered it all. Anything else? You guys have anything else?
I think we pretty much.
I really did feel bad a little bit though about going to Dunkin' Donuts because I could have
enjoyed the shit out of that
don't feel bad because I did get it. I did get it before.
That's
so
what I thought.
Don't feel bad.
I thought you returned, but I wasn't sure if you were returning because you're just like, screw it, or if you're like, let me see.
I didn't get. I haven't gotten to go to that store just yet, but believe you me, I'm doing that. Curbside, going in, they ask for 6 pumps. They're gonna say, no, extra charge. Gonna go to my curbside, and that's it. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Good luck.
All right.
We'll keep an eye on it. Just like we're keeping an eye on everything else that's on this board. We got a lot of things to keep track of. Frank, you got that all?
What board?
This stuff on the side. Quick, write it down before it disappears.
But we already went over all of that. It's gone.
Come on.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
I'm trying to get my cat. Get.
That's what she said.
What's going on with your cat?
Get.
Somebody wrote that your cat. They're worried your cat's gonna kill you because it seems nasty to you.
Me too. Oh, he hates me.
Full disclosure, that was my wife who wrote that. I'm just saying. She's very concerned.
She laughs at it.
That's the kind of cat, if it found you, like, God forbid, it found you dead, it would start eating your face.
Yes. Like in Batman with Michelle Pfeiffer when they started nibbling at her fingers and she turned into Catwoman. That's what happens. You might turn into Catwoman.
You never heard that? Cats, if the owner dies or something and they're live alone, the cats will start eating the person.
No, they just steal your breath.
Or that.
That's a different. See, as he just runs right into.
Was he running into the camera stand just then? Wow.
Yeah, he was. He slammed his body against it.
Wow. Does he want some camera time? Does he have an opinion?
Yeah, if he wants to add anything.
Right.
What's his name?
Exactly. Tino.
Why did you name him Tino?
Because I did not know what to call him, and I was like,
good enough.
He was like a little Sabatino, so Tino.
Okay. Makes sense.
It works.
All right. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it at Tino. Because I'm worried about what he's going to do to Janine if we don't end the show right now.
Yeah, go take care of your cat.
Yeah, seriously.
All right. Appreciate you. AnthonyOnAir.com has all our info and links and everything else. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Some of us will, at least.
Whatever's left.